Hey, Dennis O'Brien back again on Let's Talk About It. We've been on for almost 25 years, I think, Matt Rupar. And, I'm how many years with you now?
17?
17 of those years with you. Okay. Wow, time flies. Too fast for me. Anyway, we're here with another great guest today. We have had the last 3 weeks, we've had Congressman Joe Courtney. We've had the new superintendent of school, Iris Gomero of Windham Public Schools. And today we've got somebody who's probably better known in Windham than either one of them. David Wollner.
Hi, Dennis.
Okay, David Wollner from
Hi, Matt.
Willie Brew, from Willimantic Brewing Company. I used to call it the Main Street Cafe at one time.
It used to be called that.
It isn't anymore.
Since when we were in the old Capitol Theater, 1991, we were Main Street Cafe.
Okay, I thought you were Main Street Cafe when you moved across the street.
And then when we moved to the former Victorian Lady, which is now Eminence, we were still Main Street Cafe.
Right.
And then after the DeVivos purchased the old post office, and we struck a deal with them to renovate it, they bought it on Valentine's Day, 1996. And then February 8th, 1997, after almost a complete year of renovations, we were able to open. And we were Willimantic Brewing Company, DBA Main Street Cafe.
I can remember so many times listening to people, naysayers, the few that we have in town, saying the old post office will never be fixed up. It'll never be anything when it was not being used for so many years.
Well, it fell into extreme disrepair. The town did have to put a new roof on it. You could tell in the basement there was potentially standing water of like 3.5 feet almost. You can tell on some of the wood. So, and It was in horrible shape. Lots of what looks like Lego block ceiling had come down around the corners where the roof drains are. So it was extensive repair. Plus, it was that ugly government green. So Mary Lou was able to hire a team of women contractors, and they hand stripped the wood, and it's English white oak, which is an extinct oak, and stripped all the paint off the walls. And then we had volunteers that came in and did some more, people that were helping us out at the Main Street Cafe. And then when it was time to move, we literally did pass a box, pass a chair, pass a table, and we set up an assembly line to get all the tables, chairs, and equipment out of 877 Main Street and move it to 967. It was quite the community effort.
I liked 877 Main Street because I used to like to sit in the front window and watch the people go by and wave to them and stuff. Being the politician that I am, I'm not a professional, but I am, I've been involved.
Well, we looked to try to put the brewery in that location, and there would have been about a third the size of the brewery we have now.
Yeah.
But with tenants above, and it wasn't going to make sense. Would have been too small a location.
I'm not complaining. I think it's wonderful. I think I worked in the Hartford Post Office myself for about 4 years when I was in last year at UConn and 3 years in law school. I had a great part-time job working Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays at the Hartford Post Office. And those buildings are like amazing. They're certainly built to stay.
Oh, did you sort mail or move boxes?
I was a pouch rack guy. I would take packages, throw them into the pouches, and they would take them off to because Hartford is a sectional center. It had a lot. I don't know if it covered the whole state, but it covered most of the state. It all came into Hartford.
And when you said you threw them in, it was sort of like when you play basketball?
Yeah, like a basketball shot.
Gotcha.
And I was
Okay.
I had a good shot back in the day.
I'm sure.
I wasn't that good at much of anything else in basketball, but I could shoot the ball. That's the easiest part of the game. That's why. Anyway, I liked that building a lot. I was so glad that you did move there. I did miss being in the front window over at 877, and it was right across the street from where I once worked, because I worked in the Capitol Theater building when you got your start, and I've been a customer of yours, and so has Susan Johnson for whenever you started.
Yep, 91.
Yeah, long time, and it's been a great run, and I one of the reasons why we wanted to have you on the show. You're always welcome to be on the show. It's just that you're a very busy guy, and it's great to have you on the show because you just got an award from a statewide organization,
Connecticut Restaurant Association.
Right.
They did their annual Crazies Awards, so CRA for Connecticut Restaurant Association, and it came out of the blue. It was definitely something that I didn't expect. We had good company at the award ceremony this time. We had folks from the Harp and Trigo. They were both on 2 out of 4 of Windham County's nominees came from Willimantic. And I think that says a lot for how this town has really attracted, younger people wanting to live out here because it's great out here and start their businesses. And you can tell by Main Street, so many storefronts now that are full of a variety of businesses, between the art galleries, the food. It's a wonderful downtown, and I think when we chose Willimantic way back in '96 to open up here, that we chose right. This town welcomed us.
Well, you've been, I think the town welcomed you for a reason. You guys have been great. I mean, it's been a great run. You are, the award you got was for being
It's the Hospitality Hall of Fame.
hospitality. Okay, well,
So
hospitality.
nobody had to vote on that one. I guess we got lucky on that.
Hospitality is something that I think of when I think of you. You are, well, I go to your restaurant a lot, almost every Friday night. But I won't be there tonight because there's a Windham County Bar Association dinner I have to go to.
Okay, we won't save the table then.
No, save a table for me tonight, and I won't, or the food I often order because I'm a regular person. I'm a creature of habit for sure, but we love going there. And one of the things we love about it is the atmosphere there, the camaraderie, and you generate that. You're there, and you get around, and you even come around, and you even though you know that I'm going to try to talk your ear off, and so is Susan. Susan and I will battle for the floor right in front of you, which we would do today if Susan came in, right, Matt?
Yeah.
But you make the rounds and you're there, and people always look for you, and you look for them, and it's just the atmosphere there is so warm and welcoming, and I think that's when I saw that you were getting the hospitality award, I thought that was part of it, but there's another part too, and the other part to me is I'm talking more than you are now, and that's not right. Wayno would give me hell for that. He said, let the guest talk. And that's what they say when you try a case in court, let the witness talk. But I got to say one more thing, and that is, I've talked to you many times about Windham and about the economy here, about the restaurant business here, and you, who some people might be feel they're competing with other restaurants in town, but you are always supportive of all the other businesses in town.
Yes, we need more.
That's right, and you understand that we all. We all rise up when we have more businesses, and it doesn't matter whether they're competing with you, but they're not really. We're all in this together, exactly. And there's room for everybody.
I totally agree, and there should be more. There should be more diverse restaurants in our town. Even when we had our concept of opening a brewery, I thought, and part of the reason we were Main Street Cafe was because there was a Main Street in pretty much every town, and we were going to be Main Street Cafe and Brewery, but realized early on that doesn't identify which Main Street in which town or which state. So when we decided to become Willimantic Brewing Company, which isn't the most creative name by any means, it does place you on a map. And now, of course, when we did this, it was pretty much when the internet was just starting. You can Google Willimantic, and it'll show you how to get here. So the fact is, and then it looks for, you can always see what other businesses are around or things to do in the area, which is what I do when I travel. And I always look to see, where there might be other breweries or unique restaurants or gelato places, whatever, we're in the mood to go and eat. And Willimantic is starting to get, again, this influx of unique eateries. We have the Willie Scoops, of course we have the cupcakes. It's become a destination place. And I know we had a little bit to do with, maybe breaking down some of the barriers to what people used to think Willimantic was. And we're so far away from that. Eastern has grown so much, and the students love coming downtown, and we're part of the Passport program, which has been a great thing through the WDNA. I mean, again, it's all about engagement, and we're very lucky that there's a lot of positive engagement that goes on in this part of the state. And as I said, 2 out of 4 of the nominees for Windham County came from Willimantic. And if you look at the CT Visit or any of these other sites where they vote, for people, for whatever the businesses are, whether it's a resale clothing shop like Bliss, or a record store, Willimantic Records, when these awards come up, Willimantic garners quite a bit. We get sometimes more pizza places than, West Hartford or Glastonbury. I mean, New Haven's a tough one to beat, but we do have Trigo here in town. And Pleasant and Tony's and Papa's and Mama's. I mean, each one is unique. And again, our town is unique. And I feel very honored to have, been able to keep our business going and growing for all these years.
Yeah, well, I'm sure it's not easy. I'm sure it's not easy.
Well, if it was easy, then I probably wouldn't enjoy it as much. Everybody needs a little level of stress in their life.
No, hey, I've worked in a profession that is not easy all my life, and sometimes the stress does get to me. But all things considered, I'm still doing it because I enjoy it, and I enjoy the fulfillment I get from it.
Exactly.
And that's another thing. I mean, it's not just I enjoy helping people. Susan and I spent 2 decades in legal aid helping people, low-income people with evictions and things like that. When actually it was actually easier for them back then. Now it's tougher because the economy is, it's everything's more expensive now.
Yeah, that's
we
for
were
sure.
still, when I started in legal aid in 1972, I started here as a student, 1970. We were still benefiting from the post-war economy. Because the war was fought, but it wasn't fought in the U.S., and it affected the whole world, physically. Mm-hmm. And so we had markets all over the world for our products, and we had a huge industrial buildup that was retrofitted to make consumer products. And so we were still benefiting from that. The prices were a lot lower, and now I don't know how people get by, but you know what? There's a lot of people in town, in this area, not just in the town, that are willing to help others. And one thing about Windham that I like the best, it's like where I grew up in New Britain, where you grew up in Bridgeport. Everybody's welcome.
Right.
Everybody's welcome here. There's no sign up outside that.
No.
You're all welcome here, and that works out well for us because an awful lot of people come here who have the kind of entrepreneurial talent that you developed and that you have for sure, and others that do too. Because most of the great restaurants we have in town, the great places to eat, and there's so many of them, they were generated by individuals or families, not by
a lot of immigrants and people that have that since Willimantic welcomes so many different diverse groups.
Yeah, everybody.
We have the beauty of having those businesses here and get to try authentic Mexican or Guatemalan, and the list just goes on and on.
Yeah, it's a great place, and Susan's coming through the door now. And she'll be joining us in a second, and then I won't be able to say anything anymore.
That's not true.
No, I'll maybe squeeze in a few words, but I'm really, really pleased that you were honored with this award. You've probably gotten awards previously.
Yeah,
I think so.
A few here and there. We've gotten citations from the state of Connecticut.
Well, yeah, you've gotten those.
But this one's a fun one. Hall of Fame award is recognition for all the years that my crew have supported the business, and we've had people come and go, but we also have some folks that have been with us almost the entire time.
You do.
So I feel very grateful for the hard work that our staff does, and I'm most grateful for all the guests that have come in through all the years and have supported us, such as you and Susan.
You had one longtime person there. I won't mention my name, but I know sometimes I greet her with I said it's a her, with a song from the Beach Boys way back in the day. You can guess what that song is. We'll talk about it. Maybe.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's what the show's about. Let's talk about it.
That's right. Let's talk about it.
That's right.
And then Susan, speaking
Hi,
of
Susan.
talking,
Hi,
Susan's here.
Yeah, thank you. I couldn't miss celebrating your new award.
Well, thank you.
Well deserved, absolutely. Dennis and I love the Brew Pub and the great things that you do there with brew. And I know that people all over the state tell me, oh, Willimantic, they've got the Brew Pub, yes. And I say, yeah, come on down. And if you haven't been here, you got to come down and come over there and celebrate with us and have a lunch or a dinner.
I agree. And walk around the town. It's holiday season.
Yes.
With all the galleries and the shops, there's plenty of shopping you can do. Get all your gifts and stuff those stockings and maybe have a beer, have some ice cream, have a cupcake. We got it all.
You do. It tastes delicious. Yes. So we're going to do the shopping downtown, because that is where we actually benefit the most, when people shop right here in town.
That's what you always told me, Susan. I used to buy all my clothes downtown. I used to buy my clothes downtown on the corner of Church and
Hurley's.
Main and Hurley's.
Yeah.
I've had-
I was a regular in there.
Yeah.
I'm still wearing a suit I got.
Oh,
from
you
wasn't the one I wore at the Crazies event, but I've kind of grown out of that one a little
Well,
bit.
let's talk about the Crazies event.
Yeah. We
Since
want to
you
hear some.
you segued into that.
All right.
I've seen some pictures. You were dressed in. You're right. You're dressed in a suit.
I was in a suit.
And I've seen you dressed in some different kinds of outfits recently.
True.
Yeah.
Never my birthday suit, though. Nobody.
No,
gets to
no,
say
no,
that.
no. I didn't. Well,
That's only for babies.
well, I have. Anyway, I saw pictures of the event. Looks like it was at the Foxwoods.
It was at Foxwoods, and I have to say that, I haven't been to a ton of awards events before, but this was truly like a red carpet event. I mean,
Nice.
They did a phenomenal job. Foxwoods, I have to say, hit it out of the park with their service, the food that they provided. You're feeding 1,500 people, three
Right.
separate courses, and everything was plated beautifully and served nicely, and then they had lots of TV screens. They had a full setup for bringing in music. Their program itself, sponsored
Wow.
by a lot of suppliers like Cisco Foods and some of the Athletic Brewing got an award. Anthony, he's in the head of tourism. He got a Friends of the
state.
Restaurant Association. But I mean,
noticed
just the
that.
booklet itself.
Yeah.
And then this
Show
thing,
to the camera. Yeah.
this award,
Yeah,
it's
hold it up to the camera.
impressive.
So
And it
they
weighs
can-
a lot.
Yeah. Well, it is. Maybe we could use it for weightlifting. Yes.
So
You want to make sure we have that.
It was-
It's amazing.
I was really impressed, and I
Very
had a
good.
great crew of people that came
Congratulations.
with us. Andy and Tara, Ronnie, and my bar manager. She's been with me since nearly day one, and her boyfriend Chris, and of course my beautiful wife
Your bar
Kim
manager is.
Yes.
is Ronnie
Rhonda.
Twist. Yep,
Yep.
the one you're talking about.
Yeah, you got it.
And then
Figured it out.
my office manager, Jess, and one of our bartenders, Allie, and also Zach, my executive chef, and his wife, Priscilla. So we had a table of 10,
Oh, great.
and it's an impressive event. And think about going back, even if we're not coming up for any awards.
Well, sure. I think that it's fabulous that we have the Mohegan Sun right here, and they do so many great things in the region in Eastern
Yeah,
Connecticut.
both of the casinos
Yeah,
help out
Foxwoods.
quite a bit. And plus they employ a lot of people.
Yes.
And
yes.
and that's one thing we need. We need people to feel that they have stable and decent jobs,
Yeah.
and that they make a decent living, so they can spend it on things like going to a brewery, and having a
Exactly.
bite to eat, and a
Yeah.
beer.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's right. Well, I think people. You could tell me what you know, and I'm sure you know a lot more than I do, being in the business. But it seems to me, and maybe it's just me, maybe it's just me and Sue, but people tend to are eating out more now than ever. Maybe certainly people of my generation and Susan's is a lot younger, of course, and
Not that much younger.
well, not that much. No, I'm not that. No. Anyway.
I do think when we talk about going out to eat, I think it's one of the things that, you get a little bit older, and I think a lot of people who are in the retirement age, or, you're working, sometimes your jobs get more and more demanding as you're a little older, and so it's, I think it's great to be able to go out and just not have to worry about what are we going to brew up tonight.
But I think, a little bit of it is too, and it's kind of, not to have people not go out, but we've gotten away from sitting down at a dinner table and facing each other and asking how the day went. I think a lot of people are just used to being on their phones, and we all do it. It's become part of how we live our lives. So we could be sitting having dinner. I could be sitting there with Kim, and the next thing you know, we're both like on our phones, and we may be talking about something, but we're still somewhat distracted. And you would hope that, when you go out to eat, you get rid of the distractions at home, like the barking dogs or
Kitty cats.
or whatever it is.
Well, that's just cats.
So you go out for that nice meal where you don't have to cook, you don't have to clean up.
Right.
You can actually have FaceTime with each other.
You got that.
And I hope people understand that going out should be something a little bit special, and that's why we hope that when you do come in, that we take care of you, we give you great service, quality products, tasty food, and you have an experience. And there's no doubt that the building we're in is gorgeous.
Oh, it's
hard
fabulous.
to keep warm in the winter. All the heat's up at the roof. But
Yeah, I wanted to mention before, I forgot to, Gordon McDonald just passed away, a good friend of ours.
he did just pass.
Yeah, and I think last month the obit was in the Chronicle, but I think I knew it. One reason I knew it is because he's so well known in Andover, Connecticut. He painted murals on the Andover Town Hall, and I am town attorney along with Susan, Andover for more than 20 years. So we knew Gordon and Betty really well. Betty passed a few years ago, but they grew up and they went to Wyndham High School from Andover. So there's so many people that lived in other towns that went to Wyndham High School.
It was actually Kramer.
When it was Kramer, yeah. It's amazing.
Before they built Wyndham High. Yeah.
Well, it was called Wyndham High.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we weren't here then. It's before
we
my
weren't.
time.
I know that
I was
it
back
was
in
original
NB.
high school.
I was back in New Britain. In case folks don't know, I am from New Britain.
Just
originally.
waiting for that.
It comes up almost every show. I'm very proud of my beginnings in New Britain. Oh, that's a good time for getting the sign from our wonderful producer, Matt Rupar, that it's time for us to take our mid-show break and let our wonderful sponsors talk.
Hey, welcome back, everyone. This is Susan Johnson. I'm here with my co-host, Dennis O'Brien, and our very special guest this evening, David Wollner from our Willimantic Brew Pub. We're celebrating with him the great award that he's well-deserved, won from the Restaurant Association called Crazies.
The Crazies,
The
yeah, that's the
Crazies.
award ceremony.
Yes.
When you
and
first told me
very-
that you might be getting an award from the Crazies, I went, interesting title of an award.
And they play it up. They really do.
They do. They must think it is. It definitely is something that will attract attention.
Yes, for sure.
That title, and people will wonder, say why, And then a CRA, Connecticut Restaurant Association. I said,
They used to do these awards years ago, and I don't remember what they were called, but it wasn't the Crazies.
Right.
But they got a new director, Scott Dolch, I guess 6 or 7 years ago, right before COVID.
Sounds familiar.
And he's really turned it around. He's gotten the membership up, skyrocketed. And again, so the Connecticut Restaurant Association is there to support restaurants in Connecticut. And, you being a legislator, you know that we're all up against our own hardships, whether it's raising minimum wage, which is definitely a hardship for restaurants. We have a lot of people that either don't have any skills when we hire them, or even the skills that they have, they don't try to learn more or new skills. So at some point in time, you're paying people that really just want to sweep and mop the floor and not ever want to learn anything else, $20, $25 an hour. So the folks that are skilled also deserve their raises.
Sure.
And, payroll has gone up every year since 2020, and it's gone up quite a bit. And it's not just the 70 cents an hour or the $1 an hour. You have to add in your Social Security and unemployment and workman's comp, and each of those fees get tacked on and make it more difficult for us not to have to raise prices. Mm-hmm. And we've been keeping our prices as low as we can. We're losing margins on quite a bit of things. We took things off the menu. We used to have 3 or 4 different steak choices. We used to have ribs on the menu. We had a lot more options on our menu, but with the costs of things that fluctuate so much, it's better to take it off and run it as a special when we can afford to charge what we need to charge, or when we get a really good price for something versus being locked in. There was a point, that we were spending $12 or $14 a pound for certain cuts of steak, and we're only charging $23 on the menu. We're losing money.
Yes.
So rather than bring in an inferior product, which if you serve something of lower quality, people won't come back.
Right.
We just decided to take it off the menu. We are planning a new menu update, but pre-2020, we had a book. We had like 5 pages on our menu. There was too much stuff. Of course, it was something for everybody, so we did have to scale it back. And I don't know that I don't want it to go back to a giant book again, but we would like to expand some more of our saute options and be a little bit more up to date with things. But everybody still wants to come in and get our nachos. We are known for those.
Oh, you are, yes.
And our Reuben, our burgers.
And you do a great job with fish.
And that's the other thing. We have a great fish purveyor.
Yes, you do.
So again, we want to maintain high quality. We want to keep the prices reasonable, but it's expensive. Kim and I go out to eat. And it's not much for, it wouldn't be too hard for us to spend $60 or $70.
Oh, yeah, that's
before tip.
Easy.
So,
easily,
and
yes.
that's a lot of money.
It is a lot of money.
It is. It adds up over time. But you do have a great selection on your menu. I always find it very, very broad, and I think it serves a lot of different tastes. And certainly also the wonderful golden ale and the other types of beer that you serve are fabulous.
Well, we're very lucky. I think our concept from the beginning was to serve other people's beer and ciders and things, because I knew that as a brewer I couldn't do justice to every style of beer. And there's a few styles of beer that I'm not a super fan of making. So we leave it up to some of the other local breweries. We just put a Weizenbach on tap from Dead Language Brewery out of Hartford, because this gentleman, he started a brewery with Alvarium, and then he split off to now open up this one. And he wants to make traditional European beers. So if you went to Europe or Germany or Poland, he's making some of those styles that are indigenous to those cultures. You can't find them here otherwise. So again, for us to support someone like him, somebody that has such passion for the industry, just as I do.
Yeah.
You want them to succeed.
I know you do have passion for the industry, because long before you had the brew pub, you wanted to have a brew pub, and you were looking around the area. I'm so glad you stayed here in the area, because you had all kinds of ideas for different places to land.
It's true.
And then you got fortunately, Mary Lou DeVivo put together the old post office, which is the first few years we were here, maybe 10 or even 15 years we were here, the old post office where the brew pub is now, was closed up, and you have really done a great job with it, and
Thank you.
It's just
Perseverance.
fabulous. Yes, it's a great place. It really is, and the way you've managed to add different types of styles to the area, and the atmosphere in the brew pub is great as well.
Well, thank you. And again, as I mentioned earlier, with Dennis, that it's the support of the community. I mean, even when we had our little deli and ice cream.
Oh, I remember. I used to go there all the time.
We had gourmet coffee before
Yes, you
it was
did.
popular. You could get espresso and cappuccinos. We had flavored coffees. And the same thing with the ice creams. I mean, it's funny to think of us as an ice cream shop and a deli, and then turning into what we did.
That's what you were.
But we wanted to learn the restaurant business, and
you did.
And doing it firsthand, you learn a lot.
Yeah.
You do learn a lot.
Yeah, it was a great place, because Dennis and I were both downtown working at Legal Services.
We were right
You were
there in the
next
same
door.
building.
And we would just go next door to your place for lunch and an ice cream or a cappuccino, and and then you moved across the street where the
I
tattoo
was
parlor
talking
is.
about that before, about being in
Yeah.
the window.
Yeah, very good. But then the great thing happened where they fixed that building, and then you guys moved in to create a brew pub.
And it's been great. And it is a beautiful building.
It is. It's amazing. It's an amazing building. It really is.
Yeah, you have. I think you have enough parking there, with the town hall, and is close by. It's not an overabundance, but there's enough parking there.
There's enough parking. And then we do have the
we
parking
always
garage.
find the parking. Yeah.
Yes, thank you
away.
for
Oh,
mentioning the parking
Hey,
garage.
we want, Susan's very proud of the parking garage. Not everybody is, but I think, there's a move on. I'm on the police fire board, the Willimantic Taxing District Board, and we are thinking about asking the town council to let us become the parking authority in town. That we think we need a parking authority. We think we need to promote the parking garage and also the parking lots, and maybe clean up some of the parking problems that we have in the hill section where people are parking too close to a curb and you come out of a side street and you don't know if somebody's going to smash into you. So, because there is no parking authority in town, there's a traffic authority. And there's a void there. And that may be something that we may be getting into. But I every time I go in the parking garage, there's a lot of the cars in there. And there is a lot of room. And it's certainly not very far from where you are if need be.
True. It would be nice if the police took over the lower lots and then allowed the people, especially because I know that elevator sometimes is compromised.
Yeah, that's why.
To make it more accessible for people that need accessibility.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's tough if you have to, walk with a walker or in a wheelchair,
right.
Go down the ramp.
Yeah.
It's not very safe.
Oh, that's not good, no.
But that's another subject.
But it needs work, and there are things that need to be fixed. There are things that needs to be promoted. It needs to be start making a little money, not much.
Well, the other thing about that is the fact of the matter is that it has helped businesses expand a little bit here in the area, which also helps the restaurant industry. And I think that having more access to parking is something that was, when I was on the council back in the 90s, was something that was always discussed. And I know that the people who had, and you were there, that's when you started your businesses. And
no, we always felt that there needed to be more parking. And I know from the guests that come from out of town, if they don't find a spot in the lot, they drive around the block, and then if there's enough signage that they understand that they can go in the parking garage, they will. So it's, again, I think if we could increase the amount of parking in ways that make it more conducive for parking in one spot and walking around town, that would be great. But we only really have the one garage, and then the surface lots are often full. Of course, in the winter, everybody has to park off the streets anyway if it snows. So
that's when the garage really comes in.
Yeah, one of the problems we have here is we do have a long winter. And I'm not a fan of winter, as you can tell, and especially when it's very, very cold, even before Christmas. And then we have January and February and part of March to deal with. But
it just flies by.
I was...
because the nights are so long.
I was a basketball player in high school, and I loved basketball, and it got me through the winters very easily. And I stopped playing when I was almost 50. But, since then, it has not been as much, joy for me in the wintertime. I'm a spring and summer guy. And everybody that comes up to me says, gee, fall's coming. I said, fall? It's about 3 weeks. And then you get 6 months of winter. But, hey, life is good.
That's true.
And life is especially good in Willimantic, Wyndham, USA. Especially good. We love it here. And there's so many... we talked before about all the great people here, all the different kinds of people here from all the different ethnic groups and whatnot. But, and then sometimes I think about all the people I've known here that either have moved away or have passed away. And I start to lament it. And then I think, what? Because of the attractions here, including the brew pub, which is, of course, known, as she said, statewide, because you have all these people a lot of these people went to school here. Eastern, you can't imagine how many people I run into at the legislature when I go down there that went to Eastern or Yukon, and they mentioned the brew pub.
Right.
They don't say Woolly Brew, they just say the brew pub. And so it's well known. But anyway, because we're sort of like a magnet, we keep getting new people. Like Chris Beaudry shows up, and Andy, who was here. I'm sorry, he's not here anymore, but he was here for a good while.
He went to Eastern and would sit out on my patio and think that he should open up a business across the street. Yeah, and he did, and he was very successful.
I remember when he was a student, I was helping to fix the floor over at the Bellingham. It was not the Bellingham Auditorium then, because Bruce was still alive. We were working on bringing people into that auditorium, and we were buffing the floor. He had a buffer, I had a buffer. That's how I met him. And he was going around taking pictures of everything, and he was a student, and all of a sudden, boom, he started the business. So people come in, and we lose people, and people replace them. And, some people are not going to be easy to replace, like you, like Susan, and
well,
David
and like
Foster.
and like you, Dennis. But I
Me?
want to go back and discuss some of the things that David does at the restaurant.
Yep.
And one of the things you can do is you can generate a party, so you have that room there, and sometimes
It's
you
true,
can designate
the,
that. How does that work?
The formerly the postmaster's office is our private dining room, and it's good for 25, 30 people at the most. But, one of the reasons people have asked us why we don't put booths in the restaurant, and especially in the dining room. And we always felt that we wanted to have space that's movable. And with booths, you can't really do that. So when we had Kyone Wolf come in and do her show Audacious at Willie Brew, we were able to reconfigure the room, moving tables around, setting up for theater style. We've done music in there in the past. So we can also accommodate multiple large parties. You're a group of 8, 12, 14. We can have groups, various ones around at the same time. And I think that's a positive for getting your families together or your friends, or if you want to get a group of people after work to come out. And then the flip side is also that, we can cater. We have a variety of menus that we can make for, either your parties, football, Super Bowl, the holidays. You don't want to make a big pan of mac and cheese? Let us do it. You don't want to do mashed potatoes, boil the potatoes, peel the potatoes, all that stuff? Let us do it. We're very reasonable on our platters to go. And you can get beer to go. We can make you cocktails to go. You can even order a keg for your party. So
I've done that.
We've done that.
We want to make our place as easy as it is, or easy as it can be, to take care of you, is really what we're all about. It's like you said, it goes back to hospitality. Yes. If there's a way that we can make your life a little easier, give us a call. We can figure something out.
Very hospitable place.
Yes, it is.
Very
And delicious food, wonderful drink, and just a good time. Yeah.
That's the plan. You don't want to go out and have a lousy time. I mean, I don't.
No, nobody does.
Definitely not. You go out, you expect to have a good time, and one of
the people who wait on you too are really, really friendly, and they're really nice.
Oh yeah, we've gotten to know
Just
the waitresses, and
just great. They seem so happy to see us too, so that's always a great thing when people are glad to see
if
you.
They better be.
Even if they're not happy,
and not because I pay them to be happy. We try to hire generally happy people.
Even if they're not happy, without the CS, they put on a damn good act.
Well, yeah.
I think
they learn
happy.
from the best.
No. There you go. That's
But I do
talk about being candid. That's cool. I agree.
Yeah. Okay. I do want to make sure that we cover all the great topics that you have to convey to the listening public about the things that you want everybody to know about the Brew Pub and what they can do. The other thing that I wanted to mention too is in the summertime, people can eat outside.
Yep, and then we're very dog friendly for our patio. Of course, inside, due to health code laws, you can only bring a service dog in. But no, otherwise, the patio's great.
I love the patio. It's a really good spot, and in the summertime and when it's warm.
Spring, summer, fall.
Yeah.
Winter, you got to be pretty hardy. I don't think you send the waitresses and waiters out there in the winter, do you? No.
But if you want to sit out there, we always keep a couple of benches, because you get those beautiful days.
Well, you do when the sun is shining. Yeah.
Get a hot chocolate or a hot toddy and sit outside and enjoy the day.
In the parade, I love going. We were always.
It was
in the
chilly
parade.
this year for the holiday.
It was, yes.
Oh, the holiday parade. Yeah,
I was out there doing a Facebook Live, and I was
told me.
freezing,
Yeah.
and I think my camera froze up.
You told me that, I also told you that I wasn't there because I do not like the cold, and it was especially cold. But I'll tell you what,
it was a great parade, and appreciate all the fire departments and all the people that were in it.
Great parade.
Dancers. It was it was like a little mini boombox.
It's pretty amazing. I think how successful it's been. The boombox parade, of course, is great, but I love marching by your place and seeing all the people. And also the great job your staff does on their float or whatever they do.
I never know what it is.
Right.
And I always cry when they pull up.
You said that.
It's true.
You told me that. You never know what it is.
An amazing job. Yes.
So you're not directing that.
No,
No, that's your
That's
creative people in your
well, that's
staff.
Rhonda Twist, Tara Sherwood, and
I'm sure
then
Rhonda was involved here.
a bunch of volunteers and people that, if you see them parading around during the parade, these are the people that also help paint each little piece of whatever it is. They turn a paper mache thing into a frog or I don't know, all kinds of things. You've seen it over the years.
You got to consider yourself fortunate indeed to have people like that working
Most
with you.
fortunate. We never would have
Fantastic.
we never would have lasted this long.
No, not
if it
without
wasn't
great-
for having so many great people.
You got to have great people. You got to have great staff.
And and many of the people had their first dates at Willie Brew, their second dates. I know Pat and Garnet from Trigo. Pat was working at the Harp. Garnet was working at Willie Brew.
Yeah.
And they had their first date at Willie Brew, and then they got married. Both of them were working for us for quite a while too.
Yeah.
And then when Pat wanted to open up his place, he showed me his plans, and we went over some things, and tried to help him out any way I could, because this is a great thing to have a wood-fired pizza place right on Main Street. And so the fact that they bought the building, invested in the community, again, that's why I love it here. We have people that love this community and have, put their roots down, and they're going to be raising families. And some of the people that have worked for me have gotten married, have kids.
Yep.
Kids are growing up now, working in the restaurant.
Right.
It's crazy. It's wonderful.
It is wonderful. It's wonderful how, something that's some kind of an institution, some kind of a site that is gives off incredibly good vibes, like the brew pub can. It's like family.
Yeah.
It really is. And again, I want to emphasize again how one of the reasons we love going there is the way we're treated by the staff. The staff is so nice, everybody, and even though I try not to sing that song very often for one of your key employees.
Well, plus you like to give me a hard time every now and then.
Yeah. Well, that's who I am.
Well, and I'm the guy to give it to.
Yeah, I know how far I can go. I mean,
You do?
I've been well, not with you maybe. I've been around a long time.
I always try to time it so your food comes up just at that moment. Okay, now you can eat. I got to run.
I know, David. I got it all figured out. I know you're busy. You got to get around. Sometimes I'm in great demand too in certain circles, and I can't spend a lot of time with people at a certain given time. Not so much anymore. I have a little bit more time now, but I understand how that is. But anyway, you handle it so well. And Susan thinks I talk too much, but
And I want to have David wrap up, because I want to make sure
have
he
him wrap
reviews
up.
all the things that he wants the public to hear about this. Because as you know, I blast this at the Capitol, so we're going to have this all over the place. So tell us what you want people to hear.
Well, it's holiday season, and if you are looking for, getting some gifts, we have shirts and hats and glassware. Gift cards. Right now we're running a promotion. If you spend $100 on a gift card, you get a $20 bounce back to use in January and February. And it doesn't matter how many you buy at that point, so you can stack them all up. And, as I said, party platters, wings to go, nachos. If you don't have room in your house and you don't want to clean before and after, have the party at Willie Brew.
Yeah.
Also local businesses, if you want us to put together something and bring to your office, or if you want to break away early in the afternoon and come down, we can figure something out. We have great people that work in the kitchen and want to make great food for you.
And so do people get to special order what they want for their party?
Yes, exactly.
So, yeah.
We have some, menus that lay out a few easy things, but again, we know how to make a lot of different things. So if you
Yes,
want
you
mac
do.
and cheese and you want some veggie chili mixed in, we can do that. You
Wow.
want it?
Oh, that's
You
a
just
great
want
idea.
veggie chili? We can do that.
I love that.
So there's
Yeah,
a lot of
I'll
options,
try
as you
that.
know. Like you mentioned, our fish. We have something for everybody, and we have very talented people.
Yes, you do.
So I'm
Very
very grateful for everybody that works for us and everybody that comes in and visits us. And I'm grateful for this award. It was definitely not expected, and I'm very honored.
Well,
And thank you
so-
for having me on the show.
Well, thank you for being on the show.
here. And
Appreciate you.
Susan is very smart. She always tries to give the guest the last couple of minutes to sum up, and you hit a grand slam home run. That was fantastic, David.
Thank you.
And we're so happy to have you on the show. It's another in a string of great shows we've had recently, but I don't think anybody's more well known David, and I mentioned that early on, so you missed it. Stennis O'Brien with Susan Johnson, Matt Rupar, and our very special guest, David Wollner of the Willimantic Brewing Company, and fresh from receiving a terrific award for hospitality from the Connecticut Restaurant Association. And we will be back next week with another excellent guest.